All right, welcome guys to lab number two, which is Italy. If I can get my mouse on the correct screen, we can get going. Oh, I think I'm there. I made it. We did it. And I want to show you guys. I'm gonna wait till I think Carly's joining later, so I want to show you this thing she made for France. Someone remind me when she jumps on. All right, we've got some special guests with us tonight, aka Prunotto Rorero Arnese. We got the Orvieto, Nebbiolo, Bruno Giacosa Nebbiolo, and Frescobaldi Nipozzano. Right, and we're actually going to take them a little out of order. We're probably going to do, and you poured them in this order, Christiana?
Yes.
Right. Okay, cool. So I think we'll do the second white, so number 2 last, because I'm going to kind of go by region, just so you know, but that should be easy enough. The first white will go first. So let me go and get my pour on. Where'd I put it? Here we go. Ready. Oh, here's Carly. Let me let her in real quick. And actually, now that she's here, I'm going to show you guys this thing. If I can figure it out. Carly, how you doing?
Doing okay. How was this afternoon?
You're like, more importantly, how many do we hire? Please.
Sorry, how are you, Connor?
No, don't. Yeah, this is way more important. I think we're at 10 or 11, 10 maybe at last count. Okay. Here's somebody else. So that's good, right? I think we have 14 down here to fill, 14 spots. So a good start at least, right?
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Do you mind if I share the thing that you made?
Yeah, that's fine. It's not done yet.
So a beautiful mind over here, Carly, put together this this thing. Wait, let me make sure. I don't know what you call this, like a flow chart?
Yeah, it's just like an organizational chart, a hierarchy chart, kind of.
Okay, so this is for France. And if you don't mind, if you'll just go ahead and make these for every other country.
I'm planning on it.
Oh my Lord. Wow. Okay, so, and I only had a chance to like kind of look at it a little bit on my phone, but she broke everything down by area, by region, right? So just look at Bordeaux. That's the one I really looked at in depth, but look at all this. This is insane. So she's got the key geographic things, right? And then we go down into the different mega AOCs, right? Mm-hmm. And then we break down to right bank Bordeaux, and then this is very impressive. Well done. Do you feel, after doing this, do you feel like you got a better grasp on it?
Not yet, but I'm just trying everything, and I'm a very visual learner. And so I need to figure out a way to get it out kind of graphically like this. And that way I can print it, put it on the wall, just stare at it every day,
Especially during the test, since it's virtual, we'll just slap that sucker like wallpaper, just wallpaper your whole place like this.
I mean, but when I'm done with it, I'm happy to send it out. And
please.
And if you see mistakes, just please excuse the spelling too.
Oh, we won't. Absolutely not. We're going to hold it against you. No, that's pretty incredible.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, well done. Okay, cool. So yeah. So should I wait to send that out then?
Yeah, because it's not done.
Okay.
I'm going to finish France tonight. That's my plan.
Cool. Okay. Well, thank you for doing that. Let's get into Italy and go ahead and pour wine numero uno, which Carly and Val is the Arnese, right? And I was just telling them we're probably going to do the Orvieto at the end, actually. So just the second wine, if you have it, a bottle will be at the end.
That's not, can you go back to the picture?
Sure.
We have Riva Leone Gavi.
Okay, so remember what you picked up? What you picked up this morning?
Yes.
You picked up the Pernotto, right?
I dropped that off at Val's.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
The Pernotto, yeah, that I have that.
Okay. So Carly, you'll be drinking the Riva Leone then. Sorry, I meant to tell you. I should have made that clear that you'd have to pour out a little bit of the oranges for you. All right. I'm a little discombobulated just being in a different desk, even in a different location. So I've been all over the place. But yeah, so you'll just taste the Gavi with us, and that's cool because we'll talk about the Gavi as well. Oh, here comes Lynn.
Connor,
Yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but Lynn
Alright.
emailed something. She's not, your Zoom link isn't working.
So she
For her.
just joined, or
Okay, good.
like as you were talking, I just let her in. So I think
Okay, good.
But thank you for that. Who's Jonathan? I just let
Off premise.
Who is it?
Off premise.
He's on a team, right?
Yeah.
It's me, it's Jonathan Cole.
Oh, sorry. I'm like,
No, you're
I thought
good. You're good. I haven't been able to make it to the last few meetings, so yeah.
no, it's not even that, but I'm not.
I didn't realize you guys did like just I would just disappear. You guys forget about me after a couple meetings,
No.
but whatever.
Sorry,
all good.
John. I'm not used to seeing your full Christian name out there. Usually, isn't your? I'm being serious. Isn't your Zoom normally John? Or has it always been Jonathan?
I changed it from J. Cole to John to Jonathan. It's been changed a couple times. I got to keep you guys on your toes.
Well, I've got a little egg on my face. I feel a little embarrassed.
No, you're good. I've missed a couple last meetings, so I can't blame you.
Okay. No. I mean, I of course know you, but I'm like, who is? I'm used to seeing just John. Oh well. It's been a very long week.
It's me.
It's been a very long week, and it is Wednesday. All right, cool. Well, so Carly, you'll drink the Riva Leone Gavi. We'll talk about that, and the rest of us will have the Arnaise. And apologies for that. Cool. So let's get it going here. All right. So remember, Italy. Summer days are long and hot. What type of climate do we have going on here? In general. Yeah, it's Mediterranean as heck, right? Yes, it's like the most outside of Greece, it's the most Mediterranean climate of any, right? Right smack in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea, right? We've got cold winters, long and hot summer days, and usually really dry harvest time, which is awesome, which is great for grape growing, right? Move over here. Okay, yeah, fewer places are further than 75 miles to the sea. Let me get over here so I can scan. All right, can someone remind me the name of the mountain range that goes up and down Italy?
The Apennines.
Yeah, the Apennines, or the Apennines, as we say. Apennines. I really think they probably say Apennines too, but this is way more fun. All right, we got that Tyrrhenian Sea to the west, where remember Tyrion Lannister and Westeros is over here on the western side. I don't know if you're going to know that. Adriatic to the east, and then the Apennines, right? And then we got the Alps, which is blocking what would otherwise be a lot of cold fronts coming through, right? Okay, we remember the PDO rules, right? We got a DOC, which is Denominazione di Origine Controllata, but a step up from that is controllata e garantita, right? It's not just controlled, it's guaranteed, right? And then we also have probably the most famous IGP, which is IGT, which to me are more important in Italy than other countries, I think. What would be a comparable thing, like let's say in France? Their IGP in France would be Vin de Paix, right? Kind of that. But Vin de Paix, usually in France, to me, is usually like cheaper wine. IGT are a little step up, it seems like to me. Okay, here it is, also spelled out and this way, right? So you got your Vino di Tavola, just table wine, right? Then you got your IGT, DOC, and then a sub of the PDO is DOCG. All right. And there is the history of the IGT. Does anyone remember why it was created in the first place? It has something to do with the Super Tuscans.
Mm,
Lynn's almost got it. She's scratching her
just
head.
that, is it, I don't know. I mean, I know the whole Super Tuscan thing about them wanting to add a Cabernet
Yeah.
to the
So that's-
blend.
Yeah, so that's exactly what it was. So Sangiovese, right? If you had the DOC Chianti, right, back then, you had to, their rules said you had to be 80% Sangiovese. The rules at the time were even you have to include some white grapes, right? They had really archaic rules. You can't use Cabernet or French grapes or any other grapes and call it Chianti, right? So they started slapping the label. They remember Tignanello, the Antinores and Sassicaia. They started just putting Vino di Tavola on their best wine as a slap in the face to the Italian government, right? And so they created the IGT so that they could put, instead of just saying, because Bulgari wasn't a DOC yet, or DOCG, they could just say Toscana IGT. So it's just the area, right? So that's the story for there. All right, let's go ahead and pour out wine number one, or Carly, if you join us with your number one, alternative number one. So let's talk about this label. So what do we know about this wine just looking at it? Someone help me out here. What part of Italy is this wine from?
Barrera?
Yeah, that was perfect. So what part, like what greater area?
Piedmont?
Yeah, Piedmont, right? So the region is Piedmont, is the greater region. And a further defined region inside of there is Roero, right? And Roero is a DOCG that is just for Arnase. I'm pretty sure. I think it's just a white DOC. For our purposes, that's all that matters. That if you see Roero, it's Arnase. What is the grape then? Arnase.
Right.
That's the name of the grape, right?
We have a different Pernotto.
Oh,
We have
the,
Lange, or however you say it, Lange, Langhe.
okay. So it doesn't say Roero on it.
Nope.
Okay, so so then Pernotto just changed it. So Roero is the prestigious Arnase region. Longa is another village that's
Yeah.
area near it. So I didn't know that they changed that. So they must have just changed the sourcing, it sounds like. So either way, that's a good point though. It leads, so Roero or Longa are two very famous Arnase places. The Arnase place, right? But Roero is probably a little more famous. All right, cool. So this is probably one of the most, this would be the most prestigious grape perhaps of Piedmont. So let's talk about the style. Let's take a big old sip and let's talk about acid and fruit and what we get from it, right? So everyone, let's have a little sipperoo here.
I can't taste fruit, but I can definitely, there's acid. I can definitely get acid.
Right. So do you mind, so Val's a little under the weather, if you don't mind me telling the class.
Yeah, go for it.
She unfortunately has what struck me a couple weeks ago, got the Rona, got the vid. We're sorry to hear that. So you lost some smell and taste too?
No, I think it's just like the taste buds are deadened from cold medicine and the fact that I can't smell anything.
Right, yeah. For me, the first time around, I didn't lose it. I lost smell completely. In taste, I lost some. It took about a month. I hate to say it, it took a month to get it completely back. Like the wine tasted weird. I could taste some things in the wine, but not the fruit.
Oh yeah, I can't taste any fruit. Oh no, I hope that's not the case. Oh no,
Mine
I'm just
feels like
now
it never
finding
did.
out. I just haven't eaten anything in like 3 days. Food sounds
yeah.
horrible to me.
Hey,
Right.
Connor, I'm
Yes.
sorry to interrupt. I think Sandy was trying to get into the class.
Oh,
She
beans.
went away from it, but I told her to try again. So just if you can watch out
Yeah,
for
I'm
her.
so sorry. Oh, there she is. Jeez Louise.
Okay.
I didn't see it in the waiting room.
No, good.
All right. Yeah, well, we all hope you feel better, Val. So what do you guys think? You guys definitely can get the acid there, right? You get the mouth-watering effect. How would you compare this to like a Pinot Grigio, do you think? To me, it feels like a little fuller bodied than a Pinot Grigio. You know, Pinot Grigio can be really sharp and kind of, to me, like kind of one note sometimes. Arnaise to me has a little more, maybe a little more body and like more fruit going on, I think. Different complexity of fruit. Does that make sense? Let's see what they say about it. They say straw, yellow in color, floral and fruity notes, pleasant freshness. Okay, that's one of those nothing descriptions, right? You could say that about any white wine almost. Floral and fruity notes. Yeah, they all have that. But either way, that's what Prunoto says about it. Do we like it?
Mhm.
Yeah, I like it a lot. So let's talk about where it is. Here we are in Piedmont. This is just the regular LTGST. A lot of diverse soils. Sandy, did you make it on? I think I see you in.
Yeah, I'm just driving, so I'm listening.
Okay, sorry about that.
Don't worry.
Sleep at the wheel myself here. But yeah, so we've got the Alps to the north, and Piedmont, remember, means the foot, right? So foot of the mountain. So it's the foothills of the Alps, right? We've got Nebbiolo being the most prominent red grape, Barbera, also planted everywhere. And then Moscato, Arnaise, and Cortese. So we'll get back into these here in a minute. So there is, you can see my mouse, there's Roero right here. It's pretty sizable area, right? Right there.
Mhm.
And where's Longa? Where did it go? Does anyone see it? Okay, you know what I think happened? I think Longa is just like a bigger.
I was gonna say that when I was studying the other night, it looked like Longa DOC is like a wider area of Herrera and Barbera and Barola. Like I thought that's what it was, but maybe I'm wrong
I think you're totally right. And so it makes
when I
sense.
was reading it.
We see this often. Well, you know, there's a reason Prunoto changes their sourcing, right? Because Roero is more specific. So when you slap Longa on there, that means they can source from a wider area, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's kind of like doing Napa County instead of Napa Valley, right? When, you know, Oberon switched to Napa County, that means they don't just have to go through the Napa AVA. They can source from other parts. And so you've got more, and arguably you can get cheaper grapes from some part of it. That's the cynical way of looking at it, right? Is that you can, a lot of things are switching to Napa County because it's a little bit cheaper and you can keep a Napa on the label for $20 versus going up $10 or whatever, right? So anyway, so here's Roero. What are we making over here while we're got the slide up? What are we making over here in Barolo? What's the grape?
Nebbiolo.
Nebbiolo, yeah. What about over here in Gavi?
That's the Cortese too, right?
Yeah, it's Cortese. So what Carly has in her glass is the Riviglione Gavi. So this is the Gavi area. And Cortese is the grape. So that's what you've got in your glass. It's kind of similar to me. So to me, the difference between Cortese as far as taste goes and Arnaise Arnase is a little bit more bigger bodied to me and has a lot going on. Cortese is kind of angular like Pinot Grigio is, and just a slightly different fruit profile. But still, they're kind of similar, I think. I still like Gavi better than Pinot Grigio. But yeah, okay. And then the next wine we're going to try, we're going to go out of order, would be the first red, which would be wine number 3 on your bottle. Or if you have a bottle, it's the Bruno Giacosa Nebbiolo. So let's go ahead and pour that up. I'm excited because Nebbiolo is like my favorite. So we've kind of already covered this, but when you see this bottle, what can you tell me about it? Where's it from? We would say Piedmont, right?
Mhm.
What, where could we say more specifically?
Alba.
Alba, yeah. Let me go back. Let's see where we see Alba. Where's the town? And remember, well, there's Barbera d'Asti. Can you guys see
A
it?
little.
There's Barbera d'Alba. Oh yeah, there it is. That's the town, that little dot. All right, this map isn't detailed enough, but there is a Nebbiolo d'Alba designation as well. It's not the most famous Nebbiolo area, which those two are what? We were just talking about one of them. Which would be-
Barolo and Barbaresco.
Yeah, Barolo and Barbaresco, right? Okay, cool. Piedmont Alba, it's Nebbiolo. So one of my favorite things about Nebbiolo, look at this, look at the color here. And I like to determine whether it's a thin-skinned grape or a thick-skinned grape. The way to do that, I'm just gonna look at this important document Michael Kuden has. It's got like salary information on somebody, I think. I'm just gonna put this over my page. I'm gonna see how well I can read through it, right? Or you can use your fingers. You can do 45-degree angle and put your fingers about 2 or 3 inches from it and say, how well can I see the definition of my fingers? What do you guys think? Can you? Yeah, so the more transparent it is, the more you can read through it or see through it or see the texture of your fingers. It's probably going to be a thin-skinned grape. And Nebbiolo, even though it can be a really bold wine, is very much thin-skinned. And you can usually, it looks kind of like Pinot Noir, right? If you're just taking a look at it, it looks, and it's kind of that like, this one's kind of like that brick color, right? Almost brick red, bricky red. Let's take a little sniff of it. What do you guys think? One of the things we talk about with Nebbiolo, I remember we were talking about this the other day. What are one of the wine descriptors they always say, or the flavored and aroma descriptors they always say with Nebbiolo? Would be tar and roses, right? So this one to me smells a lot like a classic Nebbiolo because it's got like the roses thing. It's kind of floral. And then you can smell like hot tar on a Georgia highway, like a freshly tarred highway, right? Which doesn't sound appealing, but it really is. Let's try a sipperoo of this. So let me go ahead and move over to the other slide. Here's like a little, I stole this from the WSET, but it's a little nice slide about Nebbiolo in general, right? So it's usually really high acid, high tannin, and remember tannins, that really mouth drying effect that dries your mouth out. And it's really red fruited. So cherries, strawberries, plums, but it's super old world to me, and that roses and kind of earthiness comes out. What do you guys think? Are you getting any of that?
I got the tannins right off the bat as soon as I, yeah, it was just like, okay, that's.
Yeah. It's super grippy. And that's one thing about most Italian wine has really good acid. You don't really see, maybe in the South, the further south you get some kind of lower or moderate acidity stuff. But most Italian wines that we drink are real high acid, and that's why we like them. They're really good food wines for that reason, right? What do you guys think? Do we like this?
Yeah, I'm a fan.
Mhm.
I love this grape. And Barolos and Barbarescos will be usually, if it was 2018, they'd be really big and bold and even more tannic, because they're, these things are built for the cellar, right? So this one I kind of like because it's a little more approachable. It's just the little Nebbiolo d'Alba, the less prestigious DOC, but really good. I love it. This is my little pregame for the Peacock Lounge. That's where we're going tonight. Carly and Val, is that a good spot?
We've been there a few times. It's not one of our accounts. That's actually one of Roy's accounts.
Oh, should we go somewhere else then? I want to go to your account.
They have great cocktails, and they're super, super United supporters.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, we'll stick to the plan then. I'm excited. All right, cool. So let us move on now. There's like a big round of applause going on over there. I guess maybe we hired another person. I don't know what's
Right.
They found 3 more people.
Yeah. They've been lost in the warehouse. We'll take them. Okay, let's go ahead and pour wine number 4, if the second red wine, if it's in your little bottle. If you have the bottle, let's do the Frescobaldi. And I'm keeping it classy by pouring from this water bottle full of Fresco. Still looks a little bit better than this bottle of urine I've been looking like I've been bringing around the office all day today.
I mean, if anything, you just could have grabbed the Trenta Starbucks cup, because one of those actually will hold a whole bottle of wine.
Ooh.
Just saying.
Somebody's taking that into a movie theater or a kid's ball game, perhaps. I love it. Good to know. All right, so someone help me out. What can you guys tell me about this wine just by looking at the label? Where is it from?
Rufina, right?
Yeah, nailed it. But really, that's where it's from. The village is called Rufina, right? And then broader, where else would you say it's from?
Tuscany.
Yeah. Yeah, the Chianti, and then the broader Tuscany region, right? What else can you say about this? How is this different than a regular, if you just saw something that said Chianti DOC?
It has Reserva on it.
Yeah, bing, bing, bing. Reserva, which means it was what? It's aged a little bit longer, right?
Yeah.
Or a lot of bit longer, right, than just Chianti DOC.
60 months?
So what?
Is 60 months right?
I don't remember. That's something I should probably know. There's so many months in all this. If I'm taking the test tomorrow, I'm going to review it, but I don't.
It says in the book, 2 years aging with half degree above the ABV.
Then versus regular Chianti, right?
Versus regular Chianti, which is
12 and a half, 12?
12 ABV, and cannot be released until 1 year after the harvest.
Nice, yeah. So what they're basically trying to regulate there is they want better grapes, right? They want you to put your best, and as a winemaker, you want to put your best grapes in your Reserva or your Grand Reserva, right? Because you get more money for them. And it also helps us know that, hey, we see this word Reserva on there. This is a better wine, probably. That's the idea. It's at least been aged more. You're not going to put your crappy grapes in the Reserva, right? You're usually going to put your better grapes that can hold up to a little bit longer aging, right? If you see Ground Reserva, you're, oh, mama, you know, that's big time. All right, cool. So let us, we said here, we said Tuscany, Chianti, Chianti, Rufina, Reserva. Oh, sorry. We all know what's the grape?
Sangiovese.
Sangiovese.
Thank you, Brad. Sangiovese. Or was that John?
That was me.
Okay. It looks like you were on mute. So I was like, where did that come from?
I'm quick. I'm quick.
Sangiovese. My hope is that you guys are taking the test and doing this, you know, while you're doing it, just to get, it's associative learning, right? All right, let's give this thing well, let's compare the thin versus thick skin. Let's just the color, I guess. So I'm just going to say it. I think it's still, this is a good example. This is still thin skin, but it's much darker. Would you agree than the Nebbiolo, right?
I agree.
And this one actually might, I can't see the bottle, but they might have blended a little in Chianti. You know, you can blend a little bit of Cab or, you know, Merlot or something else in there if you want now. So there might be a little something else in there as well. Okay, let's go ahead and also take a sniff and it also has that, what I call cherry chapstick, kind of like the Nebbiolo does. What do you guys think?
Very smooth.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
So it's still got a lot of red fruits, right? But then some darker fruits too, but mainly the red. And it kind of has that gritty, there's that kind of Italian feeling that you get because it's gritty, it's got tannins, and it's got that kind of earthiness. I get sometimes, not necessarily this one, but sometimes Sangiovese has like a lot of herbal, or like I call it tomato stock, the way that tomato leaves smell sometimes. So let's see what they say. Berries and black cherry, as well as elegant something notes. I can't read it. Floral notes, balsamic. Okay, yeah, people use that word all the time for Chianti. Balsamic notes, right? So kind of like that kind of vinegary type of thing. Pepper, nutmeg, and coffee. Elegant density of the grapes and mineral freshness of the finish. Oh, okay. Dense but not abrasive. Yeah, what do we think?
It's good.
That's delicious.
I'm a fan.
Yeah. Let's see what WSET says about Sangiovese.
Is this 100% Sangiovese or no?
I don't know, actually. Let's look that up. Would someone?
But
like
if it is, they may not even tell you what grape. They don't have to tell you what grape, right?
They do
They'll
not.
just put other blends or whatever,
Yeah.
like on tax sheets and stuff like that.
Yeah, and especially for their cheaper ones, they usually won't. They won't always update it, right? Because they don't want to update it every year. So, like, you know, Santa Cristina Toscana Red, they're not going to tell you. They're not going to tell you anything.
Yeah.
You know, because they don't want to. Because it's whereas Antinori Marchese, they'll tell you on the tech sheet. They usually put a little bit of Cabernet in that one. I don't know about this one. If points to whoever looks it up.
Isn't it? It has to be 85% Sangiovese. Sangiovese, right? Be called.
Thank you for that.
Isn't it 85% or 75%?
Chianti DOC is 80%. And for DOC for Classico is a little different, and I'm not sure for Reserva. That's the problem with it all is, or for Rufina, is that they can all kind of change.
Yeah.
We can look that up here in a bit. Let me write that down.
My notes say 70%.
Mm-hmm. So does mine.
For
DOC, for Chianti,
DOCG.
DOC.
DOC, okay.
Yeah,
And then 80% for the Classico.
yeah.
Okay, cool. And then does it say anything for, I guess, the other subzones? We don't necessarily have that.
It says the only one that doesn't have to be 70% is Colli Senesi, which is
Nice.
75%.
Let me go ahead to the map here. Okay, so here's the map. So we got Chianti DOCG, I was calling it DOC, sorry. So it's kind of all of this, right? All these areas, plus any of the other colors, right? Senesi, you said it's only 75%? And then you got your Classico DOCG. Can someone remind me what Classico means? If you see that on an Italian wine label.
It's like the lowest of the Chiantis, or doesn't even really mean anything, right?
It
Not-
means closest to the classic center of Chianti.
Yeah, so because you'll see this, we'll see it today on our fourth wine. You'll see it in Soave, you'll see it in a lot of Italian regions. You'll see so-and-so Classico, right?
Mm-hmm.
And all it means is it's the classic original zone that they had demarcated back in the day. So the first one that the first area they demarcated was this area back in whenever they did it, right? And sometimes for Chianti Classico, they have some higher restrictions, higher standards than regular Chianti DOCG, the broader area. So it needs to be a little bit higher ABV, right? That's what we were just saying. And there might be yield limits. It's just a step above. And you'll find that for Soave too. Soave Classico was the classic area that we, they grew Garganega. And we'll see that too with Orvieto here in a minute. It's a Classico.
And then
Okay.
according to the text sheet for it, it just says Sangiovese and complementary varieties.
Don't you love that? You don't have to update it ever.
So,
That's
there
like
you
an independent retail with shelf talkers. I just took the vintages off. I'm like, oh wow, now I've got this shelf talker with a rating that's going to last forever, right? You don't have to update it every year. So you can see our little village of Rufina up here, which is close to where Frescobaldi is, I think. Remember their Pinot Nero? Have you guys ever had that one? It's from up here as well. I think it's a little cooler climate. Okay. Does anyone have any questions about that? Here's the eye chart. Does it rain every day here in Savannah in the summertime in the afternoon?
A lot more than it ever has before this year.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
good old pop-up afternoon thunderstorm.
Yeah.
So humid, the sky can't handle it anymore. So it's just gotta like drop it out, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. It's crazy. All right. Oh, Pomino, that's Frescobaldi's, the Pinot Nero area, right? And they do Chardonnay from there too, I think. Okay, cool. Any other thoughts on this wine? It's really good. I haven't had it in a while. I had the Marquesi last night and it was pretty good and really big, but this is more approachable to me right now and really good. Oh yeah, let's do some old questions here. So here I am in Brunello di Montalcino. What am I probably growing here? If I'm making wines, growing grapes?
Sangiovese.
That is correct. Because remember, Brunello was just the name of the local name for Sangiovese here. What about what am I making over here? And Vino Nobile de Montepulciano.
I'm trying to let other people
Ne-
answer.
Nebbiolo?
Look what I got on my thing.
Sorry.
Sorry, that was too cute.
That was cute.
Let that play out. So that was a trick question. It's Sangiovese too. So keep in mind, when we're Tuscany, we're almost always talking about Sangiovese with red wines, right? Nebbiolo is one of those grapes that doesn't really grow well outside of Piedmont. We'll try to do it some places. Heights cellars, remember we used to have Heights. I hate that we lost that one. They grew Nebbiolo a little bit in Napa, and that was really good. But it never really set anyway. Kind of like Sangiovese, it doesn't really do, and a lot of Italian grapes do really well in Italy and not as well any other places. And then what else do we have here? Oh yeah, what are we making? What are we growing in Bulgari? Can't tell Brad's trying
Sangiovese.
Sangiovese. Yeah, we are, and also this is also super Tuscan area too. So a lot of Cabernet and Merlot down here as well. But yeah, definitely Sangiovese too.
What else are they growing? Because on my notes, I just put blends. I guess super Tuscan's a better word, but then it says like reds and white blends. So
Yeah, so like for instance, Ornellaia is in Bulgari, right? This is which would be the Frescobaldi Super Tuscan. And I think Ornellaia is usually Cabernet, Merlot, Cab Franc sometimes. And sometimes there's no Sangiovese. You don't have to have any Sangiovese in there. It is a really good, it's warmer and but it's also cool by the sea breeze here. So it's really good for Bordeaux blends here. And then for the whites, they usually they do a lot of Vermentino. Vermentino grows really well here, especially on the coast. Vermentino is like a coastal grape for Italy, and it's kind of a fatter white grape, makes fatter wines that are really good. So I know Ornellaia makes a white wine. It's like $100, really expensive. It's a white blend. It's Vermentino and some other stuff.
okay.
As far as white wines in Tuscany in general, what does anyone know the most prominent one? Or the most, I guess, yeah, prominent, famous, or whatever, would be Verdicchio.
Verdicchio.
Yeah, but it's not the star of Tuscany is Sangiovese, and then the Super Tuscans became really popular. But when we also say, not to complicate it, but when we also say Super Tuscans, we're talking Tignanello too. Which is not in Bulgari. It's I can't remember exactly where it is, but it's more in Chianti, right? And they just wanted to add some Cabernet to the Sangiovese. So you don't have to just be Bordeaux blends to be a Super Tuscan. They just started adding Bordeaux grapes to their wines. Does that all make sense?
Connor, what is Sassicaia? I have that written down in my notes.
Yeah, so Sassicaia was the first Super Tuscan to get a lot of acclaim.
Huh. Okay.
And the second was Tignanello. We know, I think, a lot more about Tignanello because it's the Antinori family. We sell it. So even like, so you guys have seen the Marchese Antinori bottle, the Chianti Reserva. I think they just started doing this a few years ago, but they put Tenuta Tignanello on the bottle, which is great. It comes from the same estate. So it's like baby Tignanello, right? And this is Classico. So that tells you that's where Tignanello is in the Classico zone, right over here. And that's why they also put a smack of Cabernet in there as well. Okay, any other questions about that? Tuscany can be complicated just because there's so many different little DOCGs. And this map will make you want to jump out of a 3-story window. This is probably, I don't even think you really have to know all these 7 sub zones, but it's good to be able to recognize them, right? Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead because it is 5:48. I want to skip to the last wine and then we can go back to Veneto afterwards. And let's just go ahead and pour. Going backwards. Let's pour this bottle number 2, the second white wine, or the Campo Grande or Vieto. Oh, I love Italy Day. If you guys could only drink one country for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Italy.
I'm digging some Italian wines right now. Not gonna lie.
Italy.
I think it would be Italy for me too. France, I guess, is more versatile, but I just really love Italian wines.
Yeah.
All right. What was that? I need
So-
subtitles on your child. I want to know what they're saying.
It's my little boy's seventh birthday today. So y'all,
Oh.
we can tell him happy birthday in a little bit, but that's the Minecraft back here. We had a party the other day. I just noticed we have Minecraft back here. So
Don't even pretend like that's not your own stream for Minecraft. By the
he
way-
had to explain what Minecraft was, but now we're into it.
So in a minute, we're going to sing happy birthday to him. It's going to be terrible because it's Zoom and it's going to be all out of
Perfect.
sync.
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it. His name's Edison, like Thomas Edison.
Beautiful. I love it.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to do that here once we wrap up. Let's talk about this wine here. What do we know about this? So we see
It's an Orvieto, so it's from Umbria.
that's exactly right. Umbria being the landlocked area. I should have put a little map up. We'll go back to one. So yeah, it's Orvieto, and look at that word, Classico. There it is again, which means, and not that there's other necessarily Orvieto areas. I don't know. They slapped the word Classico on there because it's the classic area for this style of wine. Does anyone? I'd be impressed because I kind of forgot. I knew maybe the first grape, but never heard of the second grape that's in this blend. Does anyone know what the grape is?
Pinot Grigio.
So Pinot Grigio, that's a good guess, but Pinot Grigio is pretty much all going to be in the Veneto. They don't really, it's weird, isn't it? Like they don't really grow any of the similar grapes outside of their regions. So but that makes it easier to put it in a box, I guess, in your head, right? You can say Nebbiolo, Piedmont, right? Or Barbera. Those are the 2 big reds. You can say Cortese and Arnese. No really other whites. Tuscany, and Moscato too. Tuscany, you can say Sangiovese almost always, and then the weird, the Bordeaux blends. And Umbria is Grechetto. And then Proconico, which I have no clue what that grape is. It tastes pretty good, but I don't know what it is.
Trebbiano Toscano, that's what it says.
It says what?
Trebbiano Toscano, AKA Proconico, locally.
Oh, that makes a lot more sense. Okay. Because I was going to say the only kind of exception to the rule for Italy is Trebbiano. Grows almost everywhere. The white grape. But
Repeat that. What grape was it? What grape was it? Repeat that.
Trebbiano. So, okay, that makes a lot more sense. I'm like, I've never heard of Proconico. So that's a local name for Trebbiano. And Trebbiano grows in Tuscany. It grows all over.
Trebbiano is Uni Blanc.
Yes, exactly. So in France, they only grow Trebbiano as Uni Blanc, really for brandy, right? Because it's a really neutral grape, and brandy makers really like neutral grapes because you want to show off what's happening, right, with oak or the distillation process. They like that. In Italy, we make Trebbiano a lot more all over the boot. But once again, it's like all the Italian whites are kind of similar in that they're high acid, they're kind of neutral a lot of the times. Not simple, but they're just like refreshing, crisp, that type of thing, right? Until you get down to Sicily in the south. And those white wines are some of my favorite. That's where they get like really tropical, peachy stone fruits and stuff. They're really good. All right, let's taste this.
Do we have Sicilian wines?
We have one really, really good producer, Donna Fugata. And it's a really fun one to say. Donna Fugata. You can use your hand again for that.
And that's with folio.
Correct. And Donna Fugata is like, I'm trying to think of a good, it would be kind of like the Jackson family or Kendall Jackson of Sicily in a way, because they're a big family company in Sicily. So what I only mean by that is they make a lot of different styles. They've got their hands in a lot of stuff in Sicily. So we probably have 10 or 15 SKUs from them with different grapes. They do a lot of things, but they're still family owned company and, really cool winery. And then when you get
That's Folio, right, Tiffany?
Yep.
And she's awesome. So she'll work accounts and she'll make you some money. And it's good wines. Their whole portfolio is good.
Yeah, I totally agree. That Antilia, just the basic white wine, that's what we served at our wedding because it's like $8 by the glass or $10 or something like that. It's really crisp, but has a lot of other fruit stuff going on. It's really good. So let's taste this. It's kind of similar. Like I'd say this one has a little more stone fruit than the Arnay. So like a little more peachy. I had to take mine out of the lab out here an hour ago, so maybe it might have just warmed up a little bit. But it's got like a little more fruit than maybe your Gavi does. Carly, what do you think? How do you compare those two? Or which do you prefer?
I like this one better.
Yeah. So Gavi to me can kind of be angular, and kind of one note sometimes, but I like that. It's not a bad thing. It's refreshing. This has a little more stuff going on, I think, too. Here's what they say about it. Straw yellow, intense nose, attractive fruity sensations of golden apples and William pear, citrus zest. Okay. Yeah, I'm a fan, and this is like $10, right?
Mhm.
Oops, hold on a second, y'all. Let me see if I have anything else on my notes. Stainless steel. Most Italian whites, you're not going to see oak on them. There's some producers that make, like Chardonnay or something, so you might see them do that. But most of the time, it's stainless steel. Let me go back. I want to go back to the main map. Hold on. Oops. Let's try that. Okay. All right, so here's Umbria. Another little fact about that. This is the only landlocked one area in Italy, right? It's also beautiful here. So that's where Trivaro della Sala. Do you guys remember that one from Antinori? That's a Chardonnay that they make, and it's Castella della Sala. Sorry, it's the castle that's here. It's like one of the prettiest places I've ever been to, and they make Chardonnay here. It's one of the best wines we have. Pull a
Did you
sample.
stay in the castle?
I did. Yeah, did you?
Yeah, so did Diane and myself.
Oh yeah, what a great trip, right? Like what a great place. So that's right there, and that wine, you guys need to pull a sample of it if we have it. I don't know if we have it right now, but Trivaro della Sala is like one of our best Italian white wines, even though it's Chardonnay. What do you think, Val? Do you like it?
The Orvieto or the wine?
The
Yes.
Trivaro. Yeah, it's so
Amazing.
good, right? Yeah. Okay, cool. We're almost at 6. Do you guys want to try to touch on Veneto, or what do we want to? Any questions about Orvieto? Orvieto is not the most It's not the most important. I could have pulled a Pinot Grigio or something else. I should have pulled something from the Veneto, maybe. I wish we had a Valpolicella or something that was worth it to do. But yeah, I thought this would be a good compliment for what we're tasting, at least. So like I was saying, once we get down a little further south, this is where the wines get a little more stone fruity and tropical and really good. Campania, Calabria, and then Sicily down here. We got a lot. This is where, if you can see my mouse, this is where Donna Fagata is, over here in Marsala. But they're sourcing wines from all over the island here. You got Etna kind of over here. That's where a lot of action's going on in Sicily. We're quiet today. Let's talk about something. What should we talk about? We got 2 minutes.
I missed the first wine. I mean, I drank the first wine, but I didn't hear much about the first wine. What was that one?
Oh yeah, so the Arnase.
The first wine.
Yeah, so it's Arnase. So it was, yeah, here we go. So it is, well, it used to be from Roero, but it just changed, at least in the new vintage, to Longa, which is kind of a bigger region that encapsulates Roero, right? And so Arnase is kind of like to me, like a fuller bodied Pinot Grigio. I hate to compare everything to Pinot Grigio, but that's just what we knew. We know the most. And Pinot Grigio to me is like the most neutral, the most basic, right? And so it makes a good one to compare to. But just a really heralded white wine from Piedmont. Got a map here somewhere. So yeah, it would be right there, Brad. Another beautiful area to visit. Do y'all want to try to go through Veneto for a second?
Whatever everybody wants to do.
Yeah, what do you guys think?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We'll have to be slightly quick, but we can do it. Did I already pass it? No, here we go. Veneto. So the Veneto is over here in the northeast, right? Just think of Michael Venezia hanging out. Do you guys remember Venezia?
Who could forget?
Yeah. We're scarred, burnt into our memories. So, and I'm thinking his family's probably hailed from Venice, Venezia, right? The Veneto, right? So up here in the northeast, let's get into it a little bit here very quickly. You got Alps to the north blocking everything. The Po River is the famous river there, and Lake Garda is to the northwest. So the big ones are, what's Corvina? What's this grape? What wine is it in?
Corvina?
In Valpolicella.
Yeah.
Amarone, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, no, and also Valpolicella, you're exactly right. So Valpolicella, I remember you go Valpolicella.
Valpolicella.
And that's going to be the main one, right? Because it's also in that Bordolino as well.
Yeah. Yeah, the main one that the CSW is going to ask about is Amarone, Valpolicella and Amarone.
He was singing.
Sorry.
I love it.
Oh no, it's great. It's about to be
It was great.
Yeah, I got a 3.5-year-old little girl and a 7-year-old little boy. So they're having a large time today.
Oh, that's great.
So, yeah.
We won't keep you from them too much longer here. We got let's go to the map. This is better right here. So we got Soave. Can someone remind me the grape that is in Soave?
Garganiga.
Yes. See, if you use your hand, it would have come out as a Garganega.
Garganega.
There it is. It's all a song. Yes, exactly. So you got Soave DOC, right? And you have a Soave Classico as well. I don't know if but that's once again the more the classic zone, the first demarcated area for it, right? Let's see what else we have here. Give me something else here. I'm looking for, where's Valpolicella? Oh, there it is. So Valpolicella DOC right here. So we're growing Corvina, and it's almost always a blend of, oh, there's Garganega, Corvina and Rondinella. And there's another one called Corvinone. Just know that it looks like Corvina, and that's all you need to associate it with, right? And then up here you got Glera. What is Glera in?
Sparkling.
Sparkling.
Prosecco, yeah, exactly. Glera is the grape. Okay, here's Lake Garda. I told you guys I went to Gardaland when I was at study abroad in college, and it's like a Six Flags, and I didn't know that there was a such thing as rednecks in Italy, but like everyone had a mullet. It was awesome. We rode like really, it was kind of like a Dollywood or something. Like it was like not great. It was fun, but it wasn't like good roller coasters, but it was fun, right? Probably built in like the 70s. It was awesome.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. I want to go back. When I go back, if I ever go back, I'm going to say, no, I don't want to go back to visit the whatever Verona Castle. I want to go to Gardaland. All right, we got Chiaretto over here around Lake Garda. Powerful rosé. Then we got, what is Della Venezia? It doesn't mean just in and around Michael Venezia. It means something else. If you see this on a label, the grape is probably going to be Pinot Grigio. This is like a super zone created so we can make cheapy Pinot Grigio. So we see our I think Villa Sandi's Pinot Grigio is Della Venezia, perhaps. A lot of the ones you see at the supermarket that are like $8, $10, it's from the super zone made for that. There are, of course, really nice, really good Pinot Grigio areas as well. But that's all what this Della Venezia is. Okay. Oops, that might be what we have time for today. How are we feeling? I know I'm going to see you guys in 12 hours. Get excited. You get a double dose of me this week. I can't believe we got Barry next week. That's awesome. We feeling good?
Do we have our dates set for the test yet? Do we do that?
No. So this week has been insane for me, but basically I'll buy the credits and then we can either schedule it with Pearson View or Proctor U. You guys want to do Pearson View, right? You and Val?
I mean, I did the CSS on the computer. Is that the same thing or
That's Proctor U. Yeah.
I'd like to do Pearson.
Okay. Yeah, we can do either way. So, and I apologize. This week has literally been really nuts with a bunch of different classes going on and being out of Atlanta. But yeah, but it's an easy thing. So I probably will do it Monday and buy the credits, and we can, I'll poll you. I'll call each one of you or poll, and you tell me whether you want to do Pearson View or Proctor U. I like Proctor U though, personally. I thought it was pretty easy.
Yeah. I think Val had the issue to where, because if you're using a work computer, because of the settings that they have on it, it doesn't work. Like they can't look at you through your computer because of the security settings. So you have to have a non-work computer to do it. I had to like get my Mac to her.
For WSCC2 or CS?
CSS?
S2, yeah.
Yeah, so like this computer didn't work. The other one, I had to use the other one.
Gotcha.
So just something to think about if you're doing it that way.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we could just as easily just schedule a Pearson View in person, and then it's foolproof. But you'd have to leave the house then. I don't like leaving the house.
No, I don't want to do that either. I need to be
right. Okay, cool. Well, any other questions before we sing happy birthday?
Y'all gonna sing?
Yeah, is Edison ready?
Yeah, Edison, come here, buddy.
Can everyone unmute?
Come here.
Okay.
These are people I work with. Come here.
Hey, Edison,
Yeah,
we heard it's your big day today.
yeah,
We have something we wanted to say to you.
okay.
All right. Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday
to
to
you.
you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Edison.
Happy birthday
to
to you.
you.
Woo, wave to 'em.
Happy 7th birthday.
Thank you.
Also, we're sorry because I.
Right, thank you, buddy.
All
Be
right.
gone.
So yeah, so we're about to go do something. So I don't know. I just walked in the door. So y'all have a good night and see y'all tomorrow.
Yep.
Thanks for
Sounds
singing
good.
happy birthday.
Yeah, we'll see everybody at 8 a.m.
Yeah, oh yeah, thanks. Yeah.
See y'all in 14 hours.
See you
Yeah.
guys.
All right.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Have a
We'll
good
see you.
evening.
Yeah,
See
thanks.
ya.
Bye.
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 Why am I not leaving? Oh, there it is.
I can't get out either. Oh.